Mr. One and Only DJ Chase. I'm back, as you see, grinding it. I've been grinding for a month. I'm taking my nice vacation soon. Don't worry, it's coming. Once again, man, DJ Chase, the pregame party miss podcast, right here on WDJCDB DJ Chase Radio, man. This episode is brought to you by Groover, the hottest platform to get in touch with playlist curators, real people like myself, get music reviews from real people, not bots, and playlist directory, podcast directory. Use a promo code DJ Chase and download that DJ Chase Radio mobile app. But enough of all that, man. We got a special guest today, man. The OG, the legend. You know this, man. I can't even speak. It's legends. It's an honor. You know what I'm saying? I'm in tune. You know what I'm
What's up?
saying? Big Queens. You know what I'm saying? Queens, New
Yes,
York song. All right, he
yes,
don't need no introduction. You know this, man. My guy Mikey D. If you don't
yes,
know,
sir.
main source. He the
Yes,
one
sir.
that brought you Nas. He the one that brought you Large Professor. Mikey D in the building. What's going on, brother?
I'm maintaining my composure. But wait a minute. We got
What's
to
up?
clarify
Let's
this.
clarify
Also,
something.
now,
What's up?
I did not bring you Nas or Large Professor.
All right,
Them
so
mother,
let's clarify this. Let's
them
clarify
mother
this.
effers bought themselves in this. But check it now.
Yeah.
So basically, Large Professor was the original
Yes,
founder
sir.
of Main Source.
Yes, sir.
I'm like second generation Main Source. After Large Professor pursued his
Yeah.
solo career, that's
Yeah.
when I got down with them. So
Yeah.
on the first album, which was Breaking Atoms,
Yeah.
they introduced Nas to the world. The
Yeah.
second album that I did with Main Source was called F What You Think, and we introduced the Locks to the world. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
And but it's crazy because me and Large Professor, we go back before Main Source,
Yeah.
before his name was even Large Professor.
Yeah.
I was with a group called Mikey D
Yeah.
and the LA Posse.
Let's talk about it.
And one of my members was the legendary Paul C. McCasty, who was a legendary producer
Yeah.
who mentored Large
Yeah.
Professor when he was young.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, when I
Yeah.
was recording Large Professor,
Yeah.
he was a student of Paul C. in our sessions. I used to be like, who is this little dude? He wound up becoming one of the greatest producers ever. So
Yeah.
that's what that is. There's two generations of Main Source.
Yeah.
I'm second generation Main Source.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you for clarifying that. And you know why I do that, right? So, like I said, I know my hip hop history. You know me. I mean, you know me. So, what it is I like to just introduce people a certain way, right? And with that
Yeah.
being said, so my audience, once again, I have the hoodlums. I got the YNs, as they say. So, I want them to know their hip hop history from New York, from the
Right.
top to bottom. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, even right now, like I said, my roots is Soundview, Bronx River. That's my roots. Boynton
Okay.
Avenue, Story Avenue, Colgate. That's where I'm from. So,
Yeah,
yes. So with
My
that being said,
bloodline is
right?
from there too, man. We
Yes,
do.
yes. So with that being said, now I want to get into your background. I want to get to a point, right? Because once again, my show is dedicated to music education, right? So
Absolutely.
you have a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm saying. You do it. You know what I'm saying. You've been through it all. You've seen it all, right? So first and foremost, you're from Queens, right?
Yes.
Okay, what part of Queens?
I'm from a spot they call Laurelton, Queens, man. That's Springfield Gardens. It's a part of Jamaica, Queens. You know,
Yes.
Laurelton, a quiet neighborhood,
Yeah.
right on the borderline of basically Long Island and Queens.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Merrick Boulevard to be exact.
For
So,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, Queens, man. But I stomped all throughout Queens, but I'm from Laurelton.
Yes. And I say this, you would consider yourself a 70s baby or 80s baby?
I was born in the '60s, but
Yes,
I'm
70s.
I'm a seven. Well, in the '70s, I was still a baby,
Okay.
but the '80s is when I came
Outside?
I was
Outside?
in the hoods.
Okay,
I was
okay.
outside.
Yeah,
You know
outside.
what I mean?
Okay. Yes,
So I'm
yes.
definitely.
Yes.
I was a legend in the '80s already.
Yes. So okay. With that being said, now how would you describe Laurelton? We know Queens. We know what Queens was in the Jamaica. We know what Jamaica was in
Yeah.
the 80s. How was Laurelton growing up at Laurelton in the 80s for you?
Well, when I grew up in Laurelton, it was a mixed community.
Mhm.
Like our block was like all of the neighbors, you knew who your neighbors were. Everybody, it was like open door policy. Like the kids would play outside and we could go into each other's cribs without
Yeah.
knocking on the door because it was that family type vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had a Puerto Rican family on the block. I remember
Yeah.
Carlos and Richie.
Yeah.
We had Jamaicans that lived right across the street,
Yeah.
Max and all of them. Our next door neighbor was from down south, Mr. Walker. Across the street, we had Mr. Keys and Mr. Lees. Those were white people.
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of all cultures.
Yeah.
And we all got along. So if I was bad, then my neighbors could whip my butt and send me home. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Every Saturday, they like our parents would have like these poker parties at different houses. Sometimes it would be at my house. Sometimes it would be across the street and all of that, So, I mean, we was riding bikes, playing two-hand touch in the streets and all of that.
Good times,
It was just fun.
Yeah.
Pure fun, man.
Yeah. For sure. And were your parents involved in music? Like, Laurelton, like I said, people come from decent homes in Laurelton.
Yeah.
Did you go like both your parents, or were they involved in music, anything like that?
Well, I was actually raised by my grandparents. My mom, she married this dude Richie, who was my step pops, and they lived in Long Island in Roosevelt. My mom was young when she had me, so she was still running wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah, figured it out. Yeah.
But my grandparents thought it would be best for them to raise me, so I was raised in my grandparents' house. I mean, we had the record player and all of that, but they never really played too much records or none of that. The music came from basically outside, visiting, my friends' houses and all of that. Their parents would play the Supremes and the Jackson 5 and all of that. You know what I mean? So my family that I was raised with wasn't really too in tune with the music like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? So now a lot of artists or hip hop from back then, right, started out as DJs. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the DJ was first. You know what I'm saying? For the youngsters that don't know, the DJ was actually first.
DJ was the man.
Was the man, right? So now when you got into the group, right, and you signed your first record deal, right? You know what I'm saying? You found yourself meeting LL. You find yourself doing certain things, right? At what point did you say, you know what, I wanted to be an artist full time?
Never.
Never. Yeah.
My goal was to be the nicest MC in the neighborhood. That was it. That was all I intended to do. I had no further expectations. Or none of that. When me and LL met, it was before we were making records, and I was already out in the streets rocking as a youngster. You know what I mean? I skipped over the DJ because when I first got introduced to hip hop, it was by my next door neighbor's grandson, D Money. He used to visit his grandmother every summer, you know what I mean? And then this summer in like 79, he came outside on the sun porch. That's what we called it, the sun porch in front of the house. And he had his brother's box. He had a big boom box, and he was playing a tape. And the tape had Grandmaster Caz on it. And I heard that. That's when I said, that's what I want to do. I wrote my first rhyme right after hearing that tape, and I never looked back. I started out as a rapper, writing. I didn't freestyle or none of that. I was just writing, you know what I mean? So as I like when I started rapping, all of the younger cats was really competitive. You know, we would battle each other and all of that. And I was getting real nice with it. Because now I found my niche. I already had a big mouth. Now I could put my words into rhyme. So so I was making tapes. Me and Johnny Quest, we was making tapes, and the tapes started getting popular in the neighborhood. So the tapes was spreading out. And then I started going from block to block, battling this person, battling that person. I was in this crew. I was in that crew. Phenomenal 4, Grandmaster 3, LA Rap Masters. I was solo. I was with the Clientele Brothers. It was just, I was building up a reputation. But I was real young, little dude. You know what I mean? Making a lot of noise. So when I met LL Cool J, at the time, his name was Jay Ski. And I was running with a crew called like the Sensational Five. There was Playboy Mikey D. You had Ever Loving Kid Ice, Lovable Little B, Romantic Lover Snow. You know what I mean? And Jay Ski was just Jay Ski. And he came to the crib. He said, yo, Mike, I changed my name, man. My name is Cool J. Cool James. He said, Cool James. I was like, oh, that's dope. And I remember we was walking, and I was like, yo, you gotta think of something like a Playboy or ladies, you know, a romantic lover and all of that. And ladies love. ran across my lips, and he caught it. He said, "What did you?" He's like, "What did you say?"
Yeah.
I said, "Ladies love." He was like, "Ladies love Cool James." Oh, I like that. So
Yeah.
that's how he became LL Cool J. You feel
Ah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like now I just wanted to be the dopest rapper in the neighborhood. But when I was running with Jay, I noticed that he really had big dreams. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he back then, put it this way, to see where he is right now is where he dreamt of being when we were young. And when we were young, those dreams seemed unreachable. You feel me?
Yeah.
But Jay had this discipline to do whatever it took to
Mm.
get him to the next level.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, I just wanted to be the dopest MC in the neighborhood, and
Yeah.
I exceeded that by far. But Jay wanted to be on TV. He said, imagine acting and all of that. I remember when he got the Def Jam contract before we were making records.
Yeah. Yeah.
He told me that we could be the next Run DMC. You
Mm.
know, but I, I wasn't really with it because I'm like, man, I'm already popping out here. You know what I mean? I don't need, yeah, I had this ego,
I feel
and
you. I feel you. Yeah.
so he went on to do it solo, and I
Yeah.
didn't believe him because I never heard of Def Jam at the time.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes sense. Yeah,
I just
Mikey D,
thought
I'm gonna cut you off. So with that being said, if you tuning in, right, back then it wasn't no SoundCloud. It wasn't no. You literally had a tape deck and a magazine and rap pages. None of that stuff existed. It didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
yes, sir.
facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. So when he came with the contract, I didn't believe him because I didn't know what the Def Jam. I didn't have no business savvy or whatever. But
Mm.
Cool J was the type of person that would read the record labels, the vinyl, the record labels, take the address down, send demos to these places. If it had a number, he would call. He would go wherever he had to go. Long story short, he had the discipline
Yeah.
to get him to where he is right now. Those were the dreams he had back then. I
Yeah.
didn't have those type of dreams. People always say, "Yo, he's way up there. Why you ain't up there with him?" That's because we had different dreams. That was his dream. You
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
me? I'm proud
Yeah.
of him. I'm
Yeah.
not hating. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him. You feel me? But
Yeah.
that's not what I wanted.
Mm.
But long story short, man, then when I started making records,
Yes, sir.
I still didn't look at it as a business. I didn't care what contract came across the table. Just sign it. Give me the upfront money so I could run back to Pop and Kim's, buy me a case of 40s, and do what I love. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to me, making records was like making tapes. You know what I mean? I wanted
Yeah.
to, a lot of people say, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Well, that was me in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was no amount of money that could change who I was. There was no way that I would look at this as a business when I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
Because when you turn your fun into business, it becomes stressful. You feel me?
I agree.
And
I
then
agree.
there's a lot of things that they wanted me to do that I wasn't with because
Mm.
from then to now, my integrity outweighs my talent. You
Yeah.
feel me? So there's certain things I'm just not gonna do for $1, man. I'm not no
I'm
crip.
same here, brother.
You
You
know
know
what I
how it
mean?
goes. You know how
So
it goes. So,
so that's
the
what that
proof
is.
is, yeah. And as you see, the truth shall set you free, as it says. You know, the chickens are coming home to roost for those individuals who did choose to do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
So, so with that being said, I do
yeah,
want to ask you this, right? So record deals, and once again, and I enforce this and reinforce this on my show as far as the music business, right? So what was the I would say like this, right? When you first signed, I guess because back then there wasn't no SoundCloud, there was no Distro Kid, there was
nah,
no independent. There was hard CDs and tape. Well, not even CDs. You wasn't even out back then. It was
CD
tapes and
run
vinyl.
out. It was just cassettes
Cassettes and
or
vinyl, yeah,
vinyl.
vinyl, yep. So with that being said, when you got your record deal, did you like? How did you choose to do that to distribute your music more, or did you always say, you know what, I want to just like put records out, but let me just figure it out some way somehow?
I wanted to. Well, first of all,
Yeah,
while I was making records, I was at the movie Crush Groove. I was there
yeah,
to be an extra,
mm,
and I wound up missing my calling because I was outside battling somebody.
mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I ran into somebody named Dr. Shock, and
mm,
he introduced me to someone named Arthur Armstrong, who later on became my manager.
mm,
Arthur Armstrong is from the Bronx. he used to have a club called the Ecstasy Garage where all of the early rappers had a platform to
Mm.
perform instead of just being outside. But long story short, he had a lot of connections. He said he could get us on records and this, that, and the other. So me and Johnny Quest was like, wow, that sounds cool. So we basically just wanted to know what it would feel like to hear ourselves on the radio. We
Yeah.
wasn't planning on making a career out of this or none of that.
Yeah.
Because we were having so much fun. We were being respected,
Yeah.
as being real dope. We so young and this, that, and other. So
Mm.
our whole thing of signing our first contract was just to see how it would feel to hear ourselves on the radio. And then Mr. Magic played
Yeah.
our joint, and I was open. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, long live Magic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
That's. Listen, I hopefully I get if somebody out there feel like I'm like that one day. But Magic is a legend. Respect to all the legends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
OGs who paved the way. And once again, you youngsters, man, that stuff didn't exist. So you know what I'm saying. Before you shame the OGs, just remember they put in that work for real, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's facts. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I tell these younger artists, man. I'm an
yeah,
OG, not an OG
yeah, yeah.
as a
Not
sense
a
of
street
being.
guy. Yeah,
No,
music
but
like
OG
business.
means I offer guidance.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
it
Yes, sir.
means.
Yes, sir. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna use that one. I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
man,
Yeah,
we have to offer
I love
guidance
that.
to these younger
Yeah,
artists, and
yeah.
respect is a mutual feeling. You can't
Mm.
ask for respect and not give respect.
Yes,
And a
sir.
lot of the rappers from my era don't respect the younger artists, and I don't appreciate that. You feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Because we sacrificed to
Mm-hmm.
pave the way for the younger artists.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we dropped the ball early, became greedy because the money came into it, and we
Mm.
got tricked out of our bag, doesn't mean we should take it out on the younger guys. If anything, we should offer guidance so
Yes,
they don't
sir.
make the same mistakes we did. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
You
And
know,
that's the best way to hip hop keep going. You know what I'm saying? That's how this
absolutely.
gotta keep moving. The money, you know what I'm saying? The biggest export in America is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Whether they
That's
know it or
right.
not. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
with that being said, my brother, now when you write music, right? Back then, hip hop was more it went from the disco samples to just the raw drums. You know what I'm saying? Especially, Run DMC just kicked it out the door, with the raw
That was
drums. You just
that was
drum, they rapping
Queens.
on the drum. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Queens.
that
That's
was
Queens. Yeah.
Queens all day.
Yeah,
That's how
Queens
we
with the
did it
raw drum. Yeah.
outside for real.
Yeah. So with that being said, when you started writing, did you say, you know what, I want to go more sample based with like the disco melody, or you want to go like just hardcore drum sample based?
I didn't care. And whatever
Yeah.
made people move, that's what I wanted to write to.
Fire. Okay, I
I didn't
respect
have
that.
I didn't have a preference then. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever was shaking and moving in the streets,
Yeah.
could rap off of. And
Yeah.
funny thing is, back then when I used to write,
Yeah.
I never wrote to music. I just because my flow, I could write a rhyme and spit it off of anything. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
And just until recently, this new album that I got coming out
Yeah.
is when I started tailor making my rhymes around the beat.
Okay.
Before that, I just used to write rhymes. Turn the radio off. I don't want to hear nobody's cadence. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to rock over no beats or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to write. This is what's on my mind. Then give me a beat. Oh, this goes with that. All right, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
whatever was shaking and moving in the streets, I
Yeah.
could flow off.
Got you. And with that being said, so by the time you got your deal, right? Once again, those deals back then, I would say focus you more on recording records and want to make a certain sound, right? So
Right.
did you like back then? Did you like the studio better or did you like the stage better? Live performance.
Studio.
Studio. Wow. Okay. I actually thought you was gonna say live. Why?
Studio, we had so much fun in the
Okay.
studio.
Okay.
Everything was authentic.
Yeah.
I was a one take wonder. Like we didn't have to do all of the punch-ins and all
Mm,
of that.
mm.
You know what I mean? Because we learned early from Paul C that punching
Yeah.
in was a lot of work on
It is a
the
lot of work.
engineer.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, I hate it.
And
Yeah.
that's when you were getting charged a lot of money because the punch-ins, they had to spice the 3-inch reels, remember? They
Yeah.
had to spice the tapes and put them
Yeah.
back together.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
couldn't punch in and out and all of that.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
to start the whole reel over and bro, it was a lot of work. So
Yeah.
I started mastering how to just go. I have the song written and ready to rock.
Yeah.
I already have the song memorized.
Yeah.
So it was like premeditated murder when I came in the into
Yeah.
the studio.
Yeah.
But the studio, we it was a whole vibe, man. It was like
Yeah.
we would bring our friends, we would have pizza, we would have beer, we would break nights,
Yeah.
and just vibing out. I mean,
Yeah.
the stage was great too, but there was no better stage than a street corner.
Mm, for sure.
To me.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Respect, respect. And that's actually what made you guys a lot more better than these guys. You know what I'm saying? I hate
Yeah,
to
man.
say it like that, but you know what I'm saying? But they learning. The young guys are learning.
Nah,
They
it's
gotta
good.
learn. They gotta learn. They gotta learn. Yeah.
They got it real good
They
right
got. Oh,
now.
I know. I tell them all the time, and we gonna get to that.
Ooh,
We gonna talk
okay.
about the technology. We gonna talk about
Ooh,
all this. Yes,
Lordy,
yes, yes. We gonna talk
Lordy.
about it. Yeah. So now, fast forward to the '90s, right? And the rap started shifting because I want to go '80s, '90s.
Got
Now
you.
where we at now, streaming,
Got you.
right? So
Got
now we get to the '90s, right? The music starts shifting. Unfortunately, the gangster rap element started coming into it. I have to address it. Unfortunately, I didn't like it, but you know what I'm saying. I was a child. I was a baby in the '80s, a child then. You know what I'm saying. So that transition when the gangster rap and that started coming in. How did you feel about that?
You got to remember, man, my brother Cool G Rap was already spitting that gangster
Yeah, yeah.
stuff before the 90s.
I know,
You know what I
I know.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And when NWA and them hit the scene with
yeah,
it, you know, I thought it was dope because
yeah,
I'm like, all right, now we're seeing another side. But
yeah.
it was calculated, man. The
Mm,
industry calculated that whole
mm,
move because
mm,
at the end of the 80s,
mm.
remember, we were all unified. We had Public Enemy, Queen Latifah. Everything was unified, and people were really paying attention, and we were moving as one unit. Hip hop was a one all love and positivity, and we were learning about ourselves as blacks. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Gangster rap came, and it showed another side. It showed the negative side of the streets, but they were expressing themselves,
Mm,
but they were also being exploited. Like, you know what
mm.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
They're used because now this is the only music that they're going to push.
yeah.
And it was a lot of people in trouble because a lot of people, that's why you have program directors. They
Mm,
program what you're hearing, they
yeah.
program what you're seeing.
Oh yeah.
And if you keep playing this stuff on the radio and just drilling it in the heads of the young developing mind, it's
Yeah.
going to get stuck. Now everybody wants to write like that, and everybody wants to. I I stepped away from it for a while for the simple fact that
Yeah.
in 1989,
Mm,
Paul C, my brother, my partner in crime, my
mm,
producer, my engineer, was murdered. You
mm,
know what I'm saying?
mm.
At the same time, we were going through some difficulties. I was on Sleeping Bag Records, which was one of the biggest
Yeah.
independent labels. And like I said, the name of my group was Mikey D and the LA Posse. And we had LA Posse, that stood for Laurelton Posse. Because you
Yeah.
ran in a posse back then. That was
Yeah.
your crew. And we
Yeah.
was from Laurelton. That was
Yeah.
LA.
And not a
But then,
gang. And no, for those that, for the youngsters that's listening, that doesn't mean you gang bang. That just means the homeboy you run with and doing
yeah.
music with. That does not mean you're a gang or doing no criminal activities. Yeah.
Nah, we had the
Had
streets
fun.
locked up
Yes. With music.
in
Yes.
Laurelton.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, there was a LA Posse coming out with Cool J on Def Jam. You feel me? And Def Jam had just got signed. They signed under Columbia Records, which it made them go from independent to becoming a major. So they had major money, major lawyers, this, that, and the other. And who did they come after? LA Posse. They wanted to
Mm,
sue us and take our name. You feel me?
mm,
And at the same time, me and LL were drifting apart this way because he was in the street, I
mm.
was in the street. You know what I mean? LA Posse, LA Posse.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of stuff behind that. So they sued us. And my label at the time didn't have that lawyer money to
Mm,
back us up. And again, I told you, we weren't business savvy. We were street savvy, but
mm,
we weren't business savvy. So we didn't know we should have trademarked the name and all of that.
mm,
So we lost our name. I
mm.
lost my producer. Gangster rap is coming out.
Yeah.
I'm not gangster. I
Yeah.
know a hell of a lot of gangsters, but
Yeah.
I'm not gangster. So I can't force myself to write some stuff that I'm not.
Yeah.
So I backed away from it for a few years, man.
Yeah.
Moved to
Yeah.
Florida and
Mm.
just chilled out for a
Yeah.
minute.
I
You know,
appreciate that answer. And the reason I ask like that, right? Because then you have the '90s breaks up in two parts, right? So you stepping away, and I understand where you're coming from. So the '90s has two parts. So you have the music started being the gangster, and then you had street guys, and not like maybe like a Cool G rap, but you had actual real street
yeah,
guys now running record labels and doing
yeah,
all types of nefariousness they shouldn't have been doing. So at that point, from that late '90s, I say like '95 to about 2005, how was your approach to music? Did you say, you know what, I'm gonna focus on more media, I'm gonna focus on more, different elements to hip hop?
Nah, I was in Florida. I was still doing my music,
Yeah,
doing my work out there under an
yeah,
alias. You know what I mean? I changed my name from Mikey D to Cordless Mike.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Me
yeah,
and my
yeah,
me and my man TC, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We
yeah.
ain't want to catch from Miami to know we was from New York, but we wanted to fit into the music scene.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
could tell that they nigga from New York and
yeah, yeah.
shit.
They can smell you like a mile, smell you from a
Yeah.
mile away.
So
Yeah.
so what wound up happening in 1991, 92, Hurricane Andrew was approaching.
Hmm.
And me and my partner, we flew out of there before Andrew hit. So while we were in New York, Andrew destroyed everything we owned out
Mm.
there. Because we were in Broward County, Dade County, that area. That's where it was hit by this storm. You feel me? So that forced me to move back to New York because I was like, I'm not going through that. No.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
I came back in 91, 92, I was doing security, you know what I mean? But I was
Mm.
always writing my rhymes and all of that. And then next thing I know, I was presented with this opportunity to get down with Main Source in early 93. You know what I mean? My man Jeff Red, who's an R&B singer, he was like, yo, I know a group that needs a rapper. He didn't even tell me the name of the group, but none of that. But long story short, it wound up being Main Source. And
Yeah.
so at that time, you had a mixture of the gangster rap,
Yeah.
but you also had Tribe Called Quest.
Hmm.
I mean, you had cats like that. The what was that? The tongues. What do they call them?
Native to native tongues.
The Native Tongues
Yeah, native
movement,
tongues. Yeah.
as well. And then you had Main Source.
Yeah.
They just had a successful album, Breaking Atoms.
Breaking Adams,
So I'm
classic.
like, okay, so boom, this is my alley oop right here. And like when I got down with Main Source, man, things started looking up again.
Mm.
Because I never tried to take Large Professor's spot. A lot of
Yeah.
people that misconstrued. Oh, Mikey D replaced Large Professor. No,
Only because y'all look alike. That's why.
no, we don't even look alike. It's just because.
To me, well, I say that, you know what? Because I didn't DJ with him. I spoke to him a few times at an art show, and y'all
Yeah.
actually do kind of. I mean, I say I don't look alike. I say I favor each other. Y'all do favor each other. Like
Oh, yeah.
y'all do favor each other. Yeah,
No, that's crazy. This is
y'all
first
do favor each other. Yeah, I favor each
This is
other a
the
lot.
first
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I got that, man.
yeah. I favor each other. Yeah.
I can't do the drum machines though, but I'll get this done. But Large
Yeah,
Pro, he brought that Large Pro flavor to
yeah.
me.
He's a fun
Me,
guy, but he's very nice. He's a very nice dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very nice. Yeah, very nice
I
brother.
just got down to bring that Mikey D flavor because
Yeah,
they were a polished group. I
yeah,
was street, so I was bringing that street vibe. You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
That battle rap. You like, yeah, we
yeah,
on it. You know what I mean? Bringing
yeah,
that to the table.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I was having fun with Main Source, and
yeah.
and then
Mm,
after the Main Source is when I started realizing
yeah,
I got to make my own path, man. I was doing it by myself before. I was blazing the trail instead of finding the path. You feel me?
yes.
So I found I figured out a way to become the ocean and create the wave instead of
Yeah.
riding the wave.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to ask you something, right? This is this is a very question I want to ask because a lot of artists, especially the younger artists, you know what I'm saying, you got to pass the torch, and we're gonna talk about that too. And the
Yeah,
reason why I'm even offering that is because so that brings me to this point as far as deals and how deals are structured and things like that. Because you see a lot of artists now selling catalogs and fighting for publishing or from those predatory, and I say that wholeheartedly, predatory contracts back then. So a lot of artists now, like from that generation, are getting even the '70s soul records. They're all getting a copyrights back now and things like that, and catalogs back like that. So what kind of deals were like offered back then? Were they like just distribution deals? Were they like what kind of deals were offered back? I would say the '90s. I say the '90s. Like when you got your deal in the '80s, what kind of deals were they like giving
they
out?
was they were record deals. They
Yeah.
were distribution. The record label took care of all of that.
Mm.
You feel me? But the only thing is, they never informed you about writers' royalties
Mm.
or publishing and all of that.
Mm.
So 9 times out of 10, when you signed to a label in those days,
Mm.
the label was stripping you for your publishing because first of all, they wouldn't even let you know. And what's effed up about it is the music lawyers at the time wasn't letting you know you had that right either. You know what
Mm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of cats never got their publishing.
Mm.
A lot of cats, depending on the labels and how upfront or if they
Mm.
were upfront or crooked,
Mm,
They weren't getting 100% of their writers. They had to split their writers with the label and all of that. So yeah, they was getting robbed, man. And
mm,
a lot of them was getting money up front. It wasn't a bonus. It's called an advance. Advance is recoupable money. You know what I'm saying? You think that I'm balling now. I got this advance. They need that money back. So as long as you are held hostage. You feel me? So those deals back then, man, they weren't
mm.
healthy at all.
Yeah, for sure, and I appreciate that. And now, with that being said, so we're gonna fast forward to the streaming era, the independent game, the internet media. You know what I'm saying? Us pioneers as far as internet releasing music on the internet. We fought hard for it, myself included. I used to be back a little high school kid trying to get my music on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So now we here, it's still raping us, but so we got a little bit of
Woo,
hope now. It's still raping, but we
woo.
got we got a little bit of hope now, right? So with that
Yeah.
being said, man. At what point did you say, you know what, I'm gonna just segue and just, I mean, like I said, that main source, you right there, then you just did it full time. So when did you say, you know what, I'm just gonna go balls in and go fully independent and not, you know what I'm saying? And I've reached, and I say that to say that you reached your satisfaction point in yourself and say, you know what, I can go on my own and really, really do this.
I always basically been on my own, man, because I
Yeah.
didn't care about all the stuff that a lot of artists care about. That's
Hmm.
probably why I'm sitting in the position that I'm in right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy as hell
Yeah.
because I'm doing it my way. So,
Yeah.
like, especially with the technology and everything being at the tip of your fingers, man, you can record. I can record from the comfort of my house, or I got a 9 to 5. I ain't scared to say it. My nine
Facts.
to five pays the bills. You heard?
Word up.
Hip hop don't pay the bills. I do hip
Facts.
hop
Yeah.
because I love hip hop, but the bills is paid from my 9 to 5.
Yes,
But the
sir.
technology is so ill.
Yeah.
I got a little portable studio that I bring to work with me, and I can make music right from my office.
Yes, sir.
There's apps on your Mac and all of that where you can master your own music.
Yeah.
Well, all I need is the producer. So as long as the producer is willing to break bread 50-50, I don't care about none of that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like when I work with producers, we go 50-50 on the pub and on the writers. I give them 50-50, 50% of my writers,
Yeah.
they give me 50% of the publisher. We splitting the record down the middle, straight down the middle.
Yeah.
That's that. Up front, we work the barter system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yes,
help
sir.
you, you help me, and
Yes, sir.
do it that way. You feel
Yes,
me?
sir.
Now, as far as streaming is dope, but each play you only get a fraction of a cent.
Yeah.
Which it sucks, man.
Yeah.
And I remember Jay-Z saying, "People lie, the numbers don't." Well,
Hmm.
that's cap because
Yeah.
people are buying views, people are buying. You know what I mean? So the numbers
Hmm.
do lie. Don't
Yeah.
you know? So, but like I said, with the technology, you're able to make your own website.
Yeah.
You got Cash App, Venmo,
Yeah. Yeah.
MP3. You can sell your stuff through the phones and make
Yeah.
your money. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can sell, like with me, this album, for instance, I decided to release my album in Finland right now. You know why I chose Finland?
Uh.
Because Finland is one of those countries that still embraces the culture.
Yes, sir.
They don't care about what's popping and what sounds like, you know what I mean? They don't care. They respect the classic era. These people still buy records. These people still buy CDs.
Yeah.
These people pay to see you. You go over there, they pay to see you. They embrace you like royalty. They respect the culture. They play it on the radio. Now, mind you, streaming is okay, but it's not my first go-to. That's my final destination. You feel me? Because if I could sell records, we're making money off of that. If I could get the record on the radio or even Sirius XM, you're getting paid for your spins. You feel me? Website, phone, all of that. Once the sales start dwindling down, then you release it to the streaming platforms and let the rest of the world have it. Because not everybody has money to pay for it, I understand, but they want to hear it. then you give it to the streaming, because the streaming platforms is who's going to make the money. You feel me?
Yes,
Except for
sir.
Facebook. Facebook, now I got to admit, Facebook, I
Yeah.
love to release my music on Facebook first because they pay nice. I can't lie.
Listen,
They
I'm
pay
I'm
nice.
I'm letting you listen. I'm letting you do all the talking. That's why I'm not. I'm listen. As a young man, I was taught respect from my mother and my father. You let when the OGs, the
Oh,
legends, when someone an adult is talking, you let the adult speak. So I'm just sitting here picking up game. That's all.
all right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you go. Maybe you should be talking, God dog it.
So with that being said, Mikey D. So now let's talk about pass the torch, right? So when did you decide to start doing like media? You know what I'm saying? Like when did you start saying, you know what? Because like I said, hip hop and segue, as you see, Drink Champs, the legends, everybody got podcasts now, and but which is honestly, I enjoy. I love seeing like Memphis Bleak. I love the Jay and Joe the podcast, Jay and Joe podcast. I love Drink. I was listening to Drink Champs, but nobody listened to Drink Champs. So how
Yeah.
did you get in the media, and what inspired that?
Well, with me, if you notice, I'm not really in front of the camera. I'm behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I let Big Veg, my host and my co-host.
you know how
I
to, you know
call
how that go.
him. He's my host and
Yeah.
my co-host.
Yes.
I'm the host and the co-host.
Yes.
I'm the founder and co-founder. I'm
Yes.
the owner and co-owner, because
Yes.
me and Big Veg are Batman and Batman. You
Of
feel me?
course. Of course. I
So
know. I've been on there a couple times.
yeah. So Pass the Torch. Pass the Torch came about during COVID.
Yeah.
I originally came up with the idea is because I wanted to go. That's when we were all in the house. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
I wanted to do a podcast called Pass the Torch, based on different scenarios, like old school
Mm.
rappers debating new school rappers. I wanted them to debate what the differences are, and then come to a conclusion to where we can reach understanding and build further. Pass the torch. It means you get a chance to talk, he gets a chance to talk. You
Mm.
talk. We argue,
Mm.
we find common grounds, we figure out a solution. That
Yeah.
was what Pass the Torch was about. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But we were having difficulties getting people to communicate. Communication is key. And
Yeah.
everybody just wants to argue and be right. Nobody wants to
To be
listen
listen.
and maybe
Yeah.
understand, you know?
Yeah.
So
I do know. I'm more than you know. I do
yeah,
know.
so we was going through
Yeah.
that. So then I decided that, all right, pass the torch. Maybe I could give people a shot. Like that, everybody deserves a shot. It shouldn't be gatekeepers. It shouldn't be these clubs where it's just these people in the same circle all the time. Then you got the gatekeepers, and you're not allowing everybody to show their talent. So I figured I would come with a distribution company to showcase anybody's talent. You know what I mean? And I started with myself first because I had some music. I said, let me put my stuff out there and see how this runs. I like to walk with the cross first and let people see me go through the struggle and come out on the other side. And
I'm
then,
the same way. Yeah, I'm the same way.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
Practice what you preach.
Yes,
So
sir.
I did it that way. And so it worked out pretty good. And then with media, with this, I didn't want to be the face of Pass the Torch. I felt that because I'm an older person and I'm talking about Pass the Torch, people think, oh, it's an old guy passing the torch down. No, Pass the Torch is giving everybody that equal chance to shine. And I wanted it to have a youthful look. Me and Big Veg been cool for a while, and we share the same energy, that burst of energy, positive vibes. And I thought Big Veg would be the perfect image for Pass the Torch. So he's already into media. So I just let him go ahead. You do your thing. I'm behind the scenes and
Yeah.
just overviewing.
Yeah.
And he does the same thing with me with my music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's what Pass the Torch is all about. And Chuck D is a personal friend of mine, and he has a network called rapstation.com. So there's a whole network of different shows and all hip hop, everything. You could catch it on the internet or you could download the app. But they offered us a show, you know what I mean? So now we got Pass the Torch Radio on rapstation.com. We come on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we offer everybody the opportunity to shine. We play everybody's music. We just ask that if you have to curse and go crazy, that you're expressing yourself and not just doing it
Yeah.
because it
Mm.
sounds cute.
Mm.
Because we don't represent the disrespect of our women. We don't respect killing of our children. We don't represent that. We represent pure talent. Don't try to ride the wave. Be the wave. Bring us your originality. I don't care if you sing, tap dance, or play the flute. Send it to us. We're giving you a shot. That's what Pass the Torch is all about.
For sure, for sure. And once again, salute to my brother Big Veg, man. He always gives me a birthday shout out, man. I love Big Veg to death,
Yeah.
man. And that's my guy forever. And
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, right? And this is one of my last questions, right? So we gonna
Okay.
leave now to where we at 2025, going
Yeah.
into 2026, right? So there was a debate a few years ago. I had it with the OGs. They sat me down, right? You know what I'm saying? No name, no names. So they was like, listen, Chase, all right. My pops was like, okay, so there's a debate going on. The 50 years of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been saying that my father says it's 74. No, he said it's 75. He said between 73 and 74, it was disco. Now the OGs said we had a round table that they said the real hip hop was actually 75. So how do you feel about the 50-year hip hop and the anniversary of all that was going on? And what's your take on this?
I think if all right, I'm gonna break it down into two sections.
Okay.
Now, and this is no disrespect to my elders, man. They're
Yeah.
still here. I love them all, and they all respect me.
Yeah.
Feel me? But hip hop was definitely a child birthed by disco. That's why you had Disco Dave, DJ Disco this,
Mm.
MCs with Disco that. 1973, we may have celebrated the 50th anniversary of that particular party,
Mm.
okay?
Yes.
But
Okay.
did not celebrate 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because the culture was already born. The culture
Yeah.
was
Over
already
there.
The culture was in Queens and Brooklyn. We had DJs like Disco and Disco that. I remember the Disco Twins in Elmhurst, Queens, and stuff like that. Now, if you want to be technical about it, we can't celebrate hip hop
Yeah.
until 1979.
79. Okay.
You
And
know
that's
why?
about what it said. Yeah, explain. Yeah, because
You know why?
that sounds about right. That's what I got. That's the date I got. That's the date I got.
And I say that because
Yeah.
Cowboy
Mm-hmm.
was the one that came with the term
Hip hop.
Him
Yep.
and
Starsky, Love Buzz, rest in peace, Love Buzz Starsky.
they
Yeah.
came with that
Yes.
term
Yes.
hip hop.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 79 that they did that.
Yes.
So you can't say we're celebrating hip hop
Yeah.
in 1973 because that word hip hop
Didn't exist.
didn't exist until 79.
Mm.
The culture, breakdancing and all of that stuff was already going on.
Yeah.
Herc had a party where all of those elements were in the same building. You feel me? The dance, him playing the break beat and all of that. He had all of them in the same building. So we celebrate Kool Herc's the back to school party, his sister's back to school party that he was DJing.
Yeah.
We celebrate that party.
Yeah.
1973. That's how I feel about
Okay.
it.
Okay, yeah, because the Bronx, they Bronx River, so they're gonna debate this. We still having this debate till this day. So that's why I said, okay, so yeah, the date I got was really 75. I would say 75 through 79. That's the date I got. So that makes sense. So I appreciate that. I just wanted to ask. I was like, let me ask him this question. So I was like, I want to see how he thought about it.
And like I said, that's my
Yeah.
personal opinion. I don't
Yeah.
have to be correct, but
Yeah.
that's how I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah, no, I agree. Because you know why I say that? Because once again, it was the commercialization of hip hop. So that's why I was like, you've seen it from top to bottom, right? And
Yeah.
so now when we at 2025, we got the new single out, Legends Don't Die. Let's talk
Okay.
about it.
Oh,
You know what I'm
so-
saying? That's and I'm gonna say this. Can I say it? Like the hook is, I don't know, is the hook AI? Are you rapping with the hook, or like how is this going about? This is fire. This is a fire record.
My brother, Lot Picasso.
Yeah.
My brother, he was down with me since he was a young teen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rapper, but I wanted him on the album,
Yeah.
So he produces as well.
Mm.
And we did another track on the album where it's me and him just freestyling, going back and forth.
Mm.
And then one day he sent me the track you hear right now as a gift. Like, yo, I did this. Because he started messing with the AI and all that. You know what I mean?
But
And,
it's fire though. It's fire as hell though. Like it's fire.
I said, who's the girl?
Yeah.
He said it was AI. So we had to come up with a name for her. So her name is Antoinette Iris. That's the acronym.
All right, got me.
So this song is produced by La Picasso. When I heard it, it just made me think back. And like, if you listen to the rhyme, it's heartfelt because it's true. All true. Anytime you hear me rap, I'm spitting my truth. You know what I'm saying? And this one really brought that out. You feel me? And it just makes so much sense because a lot of people use the word legend so loosely. Like they think that selling a few records and having a few dollars makes you a legend. Being a legend is doing legendary things.
Yeah.
And I don't have to explain what I've done. You can ask about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so legends don't die, man, because we still here.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. And once again, Mikey D, Mikey Destruction, I want to ask you this, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, we getting out of here. You know what I'm saying? My very last question I always ask this is this, right? If you have a young kid coming up in the game, everybody, I see people stealing my question. But if you have a young person coming in the game right now, coming in the business, they say, Mikey D, I've been watching you for years, brother, and I'm a huge fan. What is one piece of advice that you would give them getting into the music business today?
Never be afraid to be yourself, man. That's the bottom line. Stand on it, man. Be yourself. You don't have to try to be like somebody else because nobody can be you but you. Be proud of who you are, represent who you are, because you are the artist, you are the brand. Be yourself. Make a difference. Make an impact on somebody else's life. If it's one person at a time. Don't have to be a million people at the arena. If it's one person in the basement that you can change their life or reach them, then your job is done. Just be yourself at all costs. And remember, your integrity should always outweigh your talent.
Yeah, you know this, man. The OG, the legend. Thank you so much, Mikey D, man. We made it happen, King. We gonna do this again. We gonna do it every do a part two. Like we're gonna do a full time. So we'll let you know. The next single you got, we definitely gonna do another one.
I'm
so there's more questions. Yes.
It's coming out. September 12th. It's coming out. Okay. Right after this, I'm gonna shoot it to you.
That's perfect. You know this, man. Mikey D, Mike Destruction. Where can people find you? Plug everything. Plug the new single. Plug Pass the Torch. Plug everything. Promote everything.
All right, yo, you could catch me on everything. Mikey Destruction, MikeyDestruction. If you're on X, just get rid of the E in destruction. So it's Mikey Destruction. You can check me out on Facebook. I got the Mikey Destruction page and also the Michael Deering, which is my government name. Pass the Torch Media. You got to check that out on Instagram. You know what I mean? Other than that, we all over the place. That's it.
You know what it is, man. Mikey D, you performing today, right? What time you performing?
Oh, no. Today I'm taking it easy, man.
Oh, today? Okay. What you performing? Who performing? Tomorrow Monday?
Tomorrow, Sunday.
Tomorrow? Sunday? Okay, got you. Where's it going to be at?
With the Rochdale Village, Queens, baby. The Rochdale Music Festival. The last time I touched that stage for that event was 41 years ago. Me and LL touched that stage, and that's when LL first dropped I Need a Beat. So it's been 41 years since I've touched that stage, and I'm still able to breathe. I'm still able to walk, talk my trash. It's going to be a blast from the past, man.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. Once again, I am DJ Chase, the pregame party miss podcast. As you see, we got the jackets, Mikey D. We got to put your order in for the DJ Chase radio jackets, man. You know this, man. I'm as you see, I'm a public enemy, kind of, a little the young, you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, once again, it's DJ Chase, man. Download that DJ Chase radio mobile app on your iPhone, that Android. Get that DJ Chase radio app, man. Get that merch, DJChaseRadio.com, DJChase.net, Spotify podcast, Apple Podcast, and YouTube DJ Chase TV, and I'm out of here. Yeah.